All right, welcome back to NickTalks. So, um, I'm gonna do a little bit more of a loosey-goosey approach to this at first, until I really figure out what my plan is, because I know what I want to do on here, but I don't really know how I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna have to try and figure it out as I go along. Um, But I suppose, like, my whole hope with talking about my personal life philosophy and just how to approach the world in general is because, I've made a good amount of mistakes and learned a lot of lessons. And so if I can help out and if I can share what I've learned so that somebody else doesn't have to make the same mistakes that I have and can have a little bit less of a bumpy road, that's great. That's fantastic. So that's kind of the goal here, is so that, I'll kind of share what's going on in my life and maybe how to avoid the challenges that I have come to find and how to improve a situation that's going on. But we'll start off with, I kind of wanted to talk about. I recently watched the finale of the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg by Wendigoon on YouTube. It's pretty fantastic, pretty awesome. And the last thing on the list of the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg is the final understanding. And the way that Wendigoon describes it is like when you achieve enlightenment, or like the end result of religious, spiritual practices and meditation or whatever. And then he goes on to describe it as saying that this realization is somewhat in terms of you, the individual, being kind of the center of the universe almost. Like not really, but like you are the everything is happening for you, which is a pretty profound thing to think about. Which is very interesting because that's something that I've kind of come to adopt into my own life that has really helped me out through some interesting times, some tough times, challenging times, where to think of life not as something that's happening to you, like just events that are organized against you, but it's, just a long list of lessons. And that everything that happens is for you to learn and become better and become greater than you were the day before, which, in my personal opinion, is a fantastic way to approach life and kind of the only way, because it allows you to justify and mentally compartmentalize kind of everything bad that happens. It's basically the same thing as there are no punishments from the universe or from God or whatever. That you don't get punished. They're just opportunities for you to learn. So, if you're broke as a joke and you lose all your money in some crazy scheme or some series of unfortunate events, it's just a way for you to learn more. And yes, it does suck, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do anything about it. But it's just, what are you going to do with that? When someone teaches you something, it's what you do with that information that brings about an outcome. and just the information itself is useless. Knowing and not doing is not knowing. So, but I think that it was very interesting to see this theory, as they call it, on the end of this iceberg, because that's some very serious and profound thought, like thought process. And it's something that personally really has resonated with me over at least the last 6 months. And I've had kind of a crazy last 6 months to a year. So that's kind of kept me going, and to see it there is very interesting. But I want to talk a little bit about kind of my story, just because I really hope that this channel, I really hope it grows, and I hope that it allows me to interact with more people and kind of bump heads with a little bit. Not bump heads as in conflict, but compare thoughts and notes, because I've learned a lot through my own assessment of reality and what I have noticed about the world, but I've learned probably just as much by listening to what other people have learned about the world. And I think that although one person can individually grow to become something extremely great on their own, and it is almost essential that you do so, I also think that we need people. We need other people in order to fully round off our understanding of things, and that's kind of what I hope to do here. So, anybody who ends up watching this, throw something in the comments and talk about what you think about, the idea that you are the one, you are Neo, everything is happening for you. Because I think that's very interesting, and I think when you really dissect it and dissolve it into everything that you know, it could be pretty transformative. So, let me know what you think about that in the comments. And then now I just kind of want to mention a little bit about me, so that, I'm not just some guy on the internet. I'm not just some homie talking at you. This is a discussion, and I want you to feel a little bit like you know me, because I hope that I get to know all of you, whoever ends up watching this. First off, obviously, as the channel suggests, my name's Nick. From Michigan originally, and just recently I decided to move to Miami, Florida, which is pretty intense. It's pretty insane. Growing up in a small town in Michigan and then jumping into the big city has been the school of hard knocks. I'll put it that way. I've learned a lot about life in a very short time. The reason I ended up moving was just because I realized that it's very rare for people to give up their comfort of where they're from. If you have a job that is going to pay you to move somewhere, or some sort of incentive that inspires you to go somewhere, or love or something, then it's a lot easier to move. But to just decide to move, I'm sort of an addict to proving my own will to myself. And so deciding on my own to move across the country to somewhere completely new, where I'd be left to only my own devices and nobody could help me out of any situation, it's very intriguing to me. And I was very interested in discovering if I could do it. And I knew that the longer you wait, the longer you stay in comfort, the harder it is to leave that comfort. And the last thing I want is to get to 30, 40, 50 years old and look back thinking, what if? Man, what if I had moved to Miami? What if I had traveled out into the big world and tried my hand at things? I wonder how it would have gone. So to me, even if I came here and lost everything and completely failed and had to go crawling back home with my tail between my legs, it would be more worth it than not finding out if I could do it or not. Because to me, even failure is growth. Success is obviously better growth, but failure, you learn more through failure than you do through success, I believe. So that's kind of my reason for moving here. And it's been interesting. It has been no lack of lessons. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be here. It's very difficult to get here. It's been very difficult since, but it has taught me so much. And so, hopefully, through being able to share, YouTube is a fantastic place to share with so many people. So hopefully, I'll be able to share some of my life lessons and hear some of yours, and then we can kind of talk together about how to navigate the dicey waters that is this world. Well, thank you, buddy. Nice. So, that's kind of my hope. So again, I kind of want to do a little bit of a deeper dive on that original topic about everything's happening for you and not to you. But I got to organize my thoughts on that a little bit more, because that's kind of insane. Not insane in a bad way, but if you think about it long enough, it becomes very deep. There's a lot of depth. So think about that a little bit more and maybe post something on it a little bit. And I think I'm probably gonna end up doing more vlog style videos, because one, I don't really have the time to sit and edit videos, and I really just want to get this thing rolling. I want to start pumping out videos and learning the ropes on how to navigate this sphere. And the only way to do that is through doing. So that's what I'm going to do. And I don't have to really edit these. I can just long form it and talk about what's going on and move on from there. But eventually it'll get a little bit more clean cut, I think. And I can include more than just what's going on in my life, because I eventually would like to put more value on here than just talk about myself. So anybody who has any comments or questions or anything, I appreciate everything. And anybody who ends up watching this, thank you. And I look forward to becoming closer with the YouTube community and seeing where life takes us. Nick out.